Hello and welcome to the Analog Leftie. My name is Elise. If you missed my last video, I talked about taking on the challenge of burnishing the edges of my September leather pocket-sized traveler's notebook. I'll put a card up there if you haven't seen it. But yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing today. And I must say, I'm a bit nervous and also excited because this is the first time that I'll be doing this. Before we get started, I want to mention that I followed the tutorial of Mark the Braider on YouTube. I will link his video on the description. According to him, when you burnish leather edges, you apply friction which then generates heat that compresses the fibers of the leather and results to a smooth finish. He shows 3 methods in his tutorial, but today I'm only going to be doing 2. Here are the tools that we're going to be using: a cutting mat, a 400 grit sandpaper, a number 3 edge beveler, a hand burnishing tool, some water, beeswax, and my leather piece. I'll put the Amazon link for the tools that I used, but basically I just bought the sandpaper and the cutting mat and the leather working tools from Amazon, and then the beeswax candle came from a nearby general store, and of course the water is free. But yeah, for the sake of this video, I'll only do one side so we can compare it to an unburnished edge, and then we'll jump in the future when I finish the whole thing. Wish me luck. So the first step is sanding the edges to smooth them out. Right now, looking at this, it doesn't actually look too bad. Probably because this is technically a finished product, so it's not as bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a 400 grit sandpaper just to take some of the stray fibers away and smooth it out. Mark the Braider doesn't go into detail, but I noticed that the way he sands it is starting from the inside and then going out, like how you would sharpen a pencil with a blade or hone a knife. You go on one direction instead of doing a back and forth motion, because that might agitate the fibers more rather than smooth them out. So I finished sanding one edge, and this is how it looks right now. So the bottom part is the sanded side and this one is the raw side. There's not much of a visible difference right now, but to me it looks like the sanded edge, the fibers look more compressed or compact compared to the raw edge. The next step would be rounding the edges using an edge beveler, which is this one, or it's also called an edge shaver or an edger. So the set that I got came with a size 3 and 5. I am gonna go for the smaller one, which is the size 3, because I don't want to take too much from the leather since it's not a thick piece. This is the scariest part, but I'm just gonna go for it with full confidence. All right. Ooh, that wasn't too bad, was it? Okay, let's see how it looks right now. So, just trying to get my camera to focus, but it looks like it worked. The side where we use the edge beveler looks a bit more rounded now compared to the raw side, which looks a bit more flat. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. You can see where the edges have become a bit more rounded, and I'm pretty happy that I didn't damage the leather. Whew. Okay, so the next step, we're actually gonna start burnishing the edge, but first I'm gonna have to clean up my desk, and I'll be right back. Now we're actually gonna start burnishing the edge using this hand burnisher or edge slicker. The first stage would be using water, so I'll dampen the edge and then run the hand burnisher along to create friction and generate heat that will compress the edge and make it smoother. So Mark the Braider says it's best to do it in sections instead of going through the entire thing, because it makes it easier for you to generate the necessary amount of friction. So I'll be doing this edge in 2 sections. This would be so much easier and faster if you have a drill-mounted burnisher, but I don't have any power tools and the hand burnisher is way cheaper. Plus, I think it's great to start learning anything new from the ground up. Okay, just a quick check-in. I'm actually starting to see a difference right now with the section that I haven't touched versus this section that has seen some burnishing, and it's actually starting to work, which I'm really happy about. I'll do the rest off camera and I'll show the results in a bit, maybe 5 hours. I'm kidding. Okay, just a quick little check-in. So this is how the edges look right now. So this is the section that I've been working for quite a bit. I still have to work on this side, but already you can tell that it's getting more shiny and it's starting to have a more finished look and take its shape. So yeah, I'm just gonna continue working on the entire edge and I'll get back to you when I'm done. Alright, so this is where we're at with the water burnish. If my camera would focus, as you can see, it's definitely gotten shinier in comparison to the raw edge, but it's been a little difficult to get a full seal, especially on the skin side of the leather because it's quite fluffy. But yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with how that looks right now for my first time especially. Right now we're going to move on to the next step, which is burnishing with wax. So for that, I'll be using this beeswax candle. I'm not entirely sure if this is the best choice, but it looked like Mark the Braider uses beeswax in his video. He also said that I might need to apply multiple coats, so that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna try and apply a generous coat of wax on the edge. That should be enough, I think. And then we're gonna use the hand burnisher again, and I'm using the thinnest groove on the hand burnisher because that matches the width of my leather piece. So let's do that. So this is how it looks right now. I think it's starting to look a bit darker. Yeah, I'm just gonna continue doing this. Okay, y'all, are you ready for the reveal? 3, 2, 1. Ta-da! Look at that! Ugh, I'm so happy with how that turned out. If only my camera would actually focus. There we go. But yeah, definitely burnishing with wax made a whole world of difference, especially with sealing up the fibers on the skin side of the leather. And if we compare it to the unburnished edge, it's definitely gotten more darker. Ugh, I'm so happy with how that turned out. And then if we just compare it to the Traveler's Company Traveler's Notebook, you can see that it's almost the same darkness. Like, it turned out dark like how the Traveler's Company's edges did, but for some reason theirs are on the flatter side, and what we did here has a more rounded finish to it. So I guess they use a different method for burnishing or sealing up the edge. But overall, I am super pleased with the results, especially for my first time doing this. Did I really need to go through this? No. Did I have fun and learn something new? Definitely. And I think this shows that with some affordable tools and some elbow grease, we can take an otherwise inexpensive TN to the next level. Thank you for joining me in this little experiment. I hope you found it somewhat entertaining and useful. I'll take this away and I'll put a clip of the finished product at the end. And as always, if you made it to the end of this video, I appreciate your time and you for being here. Thank you for watching. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.